Welcome back, everybody. This is Faker with Questlog, bringing you today the second installment in our deck profiles for the Legend Anthology event that is currently going on in Master Duel. Oh my goodness, am I stepping onto a landmine today, because we are going to be bringing you Dark Magicians. What a perfect time. The Dark Magician structure deck just dropped, and I like doing sealed content. I like doing things that are easy for people to jump into the game and just be able to pick up and play. So this is my take on a Dark Magician deck list using just 3 of the structure deck with a little bit of addition into the extra deck, but even then not much. So let's just jump right into the deck list. All of this is going to be legal for the Legends Anthology event. So this deck plays around any kind of ban list that the event plays out. Starting off the list, to the man himself, the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense, Dark Magician. I don't really want to play 3, I think it's kind of bricky, and as you'll see, the deck has more than enough ways of being able to go into it. But it is a pretty crucial part for most of the deck's plays, so we play it at 2. 3 Magician Souls. You can send up to 2 spell traps from your hand and or field to the graveyard, draw that many cards. If this card is in your hand, you can send 1 level 6 or higher spellcaster monster from your deck to the grave. Then, you can either special summon this card or send this card to the grave. Then you can special summon a Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl from your grave. Very easy way of being able to get into Dark Magician. 3 Magic Karibo. During the main or battle phase, if you took damage by battle or an opponent's card effect this turn, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, special summon a Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl from your deck or graveyard. If a face-up spellcaster monster you control is destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect, you can add this card from your graveyard to your hand. Very recursive, easy way of getting into your play starter. We have 1 Magician's Robe and 3 Rod. Robe says during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can discard a spell trap, special summon a Dark Magician from deck. During your opponent's turn, if you activate a spell trap or effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Magician's Rod says when this card is normal summon, you can add a spell trap from your deck to your hand that mentions Dark Magician. During your opponent's turn, if you activate a spell trap, card, or effect while this card is in your grave, you can tribute a spellcaster monster to add this card to your hand. All of these are very powerful ways of getting into your main cards. The searching in this deck is absolutely ridiculous. 2 copies of Magician and Dark Illusion. This card's name becomes Dark Magician while on the field. You can only use these effects of Magician and Dark Illusion once per turn. During your opponent's turn, if you activate a spell, trap, card, or effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. And then if you activate a spell, trap, card, or effect while this card is face up on your field, you can target a Dark Magician in your grave and special summon it. Very easy way to get into some rank 7 plays. We have 2 Chronicle Magician. If a monster with 2500 original attack or defense is normal summoned to your side of the field, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. Normal or special summon, my goodness, that makes it even better. If this card is special summoned, you can target 1 Dark Magician or Blue Eyes White Dragon in your monster zone. It gains 2500 attack and defense until the end of this turn. Incredibly easy way of swarming the board with level 7s. Speaking of which, Timaeus, the United Dragon. This card is ridiculous. You can send 1 spellcaster monster or spell trap that mentions Dark Magician from your hand or face-up field to the grave to special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, you can fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material, including a spellcaster monster. Absolutely ridiculous. This just lets you get into your fusion monsters incredibly easily. We have 3 Eye of Timaeus. Target 1 Dark Magician monster you control, fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck that mentions that monster on it as material, using it as the fusion material. It's a very easy 2-card way of going into your fusion monsters. Speaking of which, Magician Salvation. When this card is activated, you can set 1 Eternal Soul directly from your deck. If you normal or special summon Dark Magician, you can or Dark Magician Girl, you can target one of those monsters, special summon a Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl with a different name. That does not come up because we are not playing Dark Magician Girl. Very easy way of searching Eternal Soul, though. Basically means that you're playing, what is this, 9 copies? It's crazy. Dark Magical Circle. This is the Salamangreat Foxy of the deck. When this card is activated, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, then reveal one that is a Dark Magician or spell trap that mentions it and add it to hand, and then you place them back. Additionally, if a Dark Magician is normal or special summoned to your field, you can target 1 card your opponent controls and banish it. This is incredibly powerful removal, searching. This card just does everything. We have 1 Soul Servant. Place one card on top of your deck from your hand, deck, or graveyard that is a Dark Magician or mentions Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, except for Soul Servant. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your grave, draw cards equal to the number of Palladium monsters, Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girls with different names on the field or in the grave. You can only use this effect of Soul Servant once per turn. We have 3 copies of Secrets of Dark Magic. This is the fusion effect only that we're using. It's basically a quick effect fusion card. We are not playing the ritual version, although the ritual variant of this deck is also viable and pretty powerful. We're just not playing it. So this is basically 3 copies of quick effect polymerization. We have 3 Magician's Navigation. Special summon a Dark Magician from your hand, then special summon 1 level 7 or lower Dark Spellcaster monster from your deck. So this can let you get into Magician of Dark Illusion or Chronicle Magician. If you control Dark Magician, except the turn that this card was sent to the grave, you can banish this card from your grave, then target one face-up spell trap your opponent controls, negate its effects till the end of the turn. Incredibly powerful way of cutting out your opponent's plays, and guess what? They will never remember that this thing is alive. I promise you they'll forget. 2 copies of Destined Rivals. If you control Blue Eyes White Dragon, you don't, or Dark Magician, negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls until the end of this turn. And that's a once per turn. It's a good negate. Considering it's in the structure deck, it's very easy to go into. Eternal Soul, Continuous Trap. Every Dark Magician in your monster zone is unaffected by your opponent's card effects. Wow, holy cow. If this face-up card leaves the field, destroy all monsters you control. You can only use the following effects of Eternal Soul once per turn. You can activate one of these effects. Special summon 1 Dark Magician from your hand or graveyard, or add a Dark Magic attack or 1,000 Knives from your deck to your hand. We are not playing either of those. There is an argument that you could cut something, potentially like a Magician's Navigation, in order to add one as a search target, but we are just not doing that in this deck. For the extra deck, we have 3 copies of Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. This card's name becomes Dark Magician while on the field or in the grave. Your opponent cannot target spell trap cards you control with card effects, and they cannot be destroyed. This is a big body that protects your Eternal Soul, and your Eternal Soul protects it. We have 3 copies of the Dark Magicians. All of these, by the way, are included in the structure deck. This takes Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl and a Spellcaster monster. Once per turn, if a spell trap card is activated, you get to just draw a card. Then if it was a spell trap, you can set it, and if it was a trap or quick play, you can activate it. If this card is destroyed, you can special summon both Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl from your hand, deck, or graveyard. You're not playing a Dark Magician Girl as a target, and I would not recommend that you do so. Moving on, we have the Master of Chaos. This is just an Eye of Tamaya's target. We don't have another way of summoning this. If this card is fusion summoned, you can target a light or dark monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can tribute a one light and dark monster to banish all monsters your opponent controls. If this fusion summon card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target a spell in your grave, add it to hand. Very recursive form of disruption. Now we're moving on to some of the cards that are not included in the structure deck, but are very, very cheap and I think worth crafting. We have a number 11 Big Eye, detach material, take control of that opponent's monster, and then it can attack. Pretty good removal. We have 2 Ebon Illusion Magician, which can also be made with Dark Magician Girl, but we're not playing it. You can attach a material from this card, special summon a Spellcaster normal monster from your hand or deck, and when a Spellcaster normal monster declares an attack, you can target a card you controls and banish it. Crazy. 1 Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, it just burns. It's pretty good, and it can't be destroyed by card effects while it's got NXE's material. Ebon High Magician. While this card has a material, you can activate quick play spell or trap cards from your hand during your opponent's turn by detaching material from this card. Crazy. If this Xyz summon card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or if this Xyz summon card is sent by an opponent's card effect, special summon a dark spellcaster monster from your hand or deck, then pop a card. I wonder what you could be making with that. And finally, number 28, Titanic Moth. If you control other cards, this card can attack directly, but the battle damage it inflicts is halved when it does so. When it inflicts battle damage, you can burn your opponent for each card in their hand. Pretty good toolbox. I'm not the biggest Dark Magician guy, but I think that this deck, especially considering almost all of it is purchasable for 1,500 gems from the shop, is an incredibly good way of getting into the event. I think that this deck is powerful. I think it can compete. And I think that for all the Dark Magician fanboys out there, I think Konami did you guys pretty good. Good luck in the event. See you later. And there you go.